The world number one arrived in Scotland with one goal: to sharpen his links game before defending his claret jug. Instead, Scottie Scheffler packed his bags on Friday, and a streak that defined his career came to a stunning end. But the real shock wasn't just a miscut. It was what it meant for the most untouchable record in golf. Tiger Woods' 142 consecutive cuts record still stands, and Scheffler's 78 cut streak, which lasted nearly 4 years, now sits as the fifth longest in PGA Tour history. The chase for Woods' mark, the one many called untouchable, is over before it ever really began. "I don't feel I played that badly," Scheffler said, trying to make sense of his 2 over 72 that left him level par at the Renaissance Club, 2 shots outside the cut line. Welcome to Behind the Fairway. Today we're breaking down the shocking end to Scheffler's cut streak and why Tiger Woods can breathe a little easier. For 78 consecutive tournaments, Scottie Scheffler did something that seemed almost routine. He played on the weekend. Through PGA Tour events, majors, and everything in between, the world number one never missed a cut. His run started in August 2022 at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and continued for nearly 4 full seasons. The streak wasn't just about making the cut. It was about dominance. Scheffler hadn't finished outside the top 25 since the 2024 BMW Championship. His consistency was the cornerstone of his rise to world number one. He was the player who never had an off week, who always found a way to grind out a score, who could salvage a round when nothing was working. But the streak was also a ticking clock. Every week, the golf world watched and wondered, would this be the one? At 78 consecutive cuts, Scheffler was already in elite company, the fifth longest run in PGA Tour history. But he was still 64 cuts short of Tiger Woods' all-time record of 142. The chase was on, and then, in the most unlikely setting, it ended. Scheffler arrived at the Renaissance Club with a simple goal: prepare for his Open Championship title defense at Royal Birkdale. He opened with a 268 on Thursday, a solid start, but not the commanding round that usually signals a Scheffler run. Then came Friday, and everything fell apart. Scheffler opened his second round on the back nine. He bogeyed his second and third holes, a stumble that immediately put him on the wrong side of the cut line. He birdied number 15, but then bogeyed number 17 to go 3 over on the back. The turn brought a brief spark. Scheffler birdied the first hole to get back into contention. But then came 7 consecutive pars, a stretch that looked like grinding but was actually stagnation. On the par 5 7th, he missed a 6-foot birdie putt that would have changed everything. Data Golf estimated that miscut his chances of making the cut from 50% to 25%. On the 9th hole, his last chance, Scheffler needed a birdie to stay alive. His approach landed just short of the green. His chip didn't drop. He missed a 6-foot par putt and signed for bogey. Ne vole pas. 2 shots outside the cut line, and a 78 tournament streak was over. The frustration was visible on Scheffler's face all day. After his tee shot at the 17th found a pop bunker, he was heard saying, "I'm so bad. Just awful." The words were a rare public admission from a player who usually keeps his emotions in check. After the round, Scheffler was more measured but still visibly confused. "I don't feel I played that badly," he told reporters. "This golf course can be just tough at times. There's some humps and mounds out there." The stats backed up his frustration. Scheffler ranked outside the top 120 in strokes gained approach for 2 rounds, losing 1.7 shots in that category. His putting was below average. He didn't hit enough fairways. He didn't generate easy birdie opportunities. It felt like nothing was going right, Scheffler admitted. Scheffler's 78 consecutive cuts is now the 5th longest in PGA Tour history. It's an impressive number, but it also highlights just how far ahead Tiger Woods still is. Woods' 142 consecutive cuts record started at the 1998 Buick Invitational and ended at the 2005 EDS Byron Nelson Championship. During that 7-year span, Woods won 37 tournaments, almost half of his PGA Tour victories. He broke Byron Nelson's previous record of 113, which had stood for 55 seasons. The margin is staggering. Scheffler's streak, while remarkable, is still 64 cuts behind Woods. And now, the chase is over. The new leader in active consecutive cuts is Matt Fitzpatrick, who entered the Scottish Open with 28 consecutive made cuts. He's followed by Hideki Matsuyama at 27. Neither is likely to threaten Woods' record anytime soon, especially with the PGA Tour's new signature events reducing the number of events with cuts. There is a silver lining for Scheffler. The missed cut means he'll have extra time to prepare for his Open Championship title defense at Royal Birkdale. He'll head to the links of Southport earlier than expected, with 2 additional days to sharpen his game. I'll reflect on that kind of at the end of the year and assess what my plans are going into next season, Scheffler said when asked if he'd return to the Scottish Open. He noted that he struggled at the Scottish Open last year before going on to win the Open. It's funny. Last year, I got really frustrated on this golf course, playing some good golf and just not really able to get anything going as well. Then I went and played well at the Open Championship. But the missed cut is a stark reminder of how quickly things can change. Scheffler has been the most consistent player in the world for years. Now, with the claret jug on the line, he'll need to rediscover that consistency in a hurry. After all of this, the shock missed cut, the end of a 78 tournament streak, the relief in the Woods household. What does it all mean? Tiger Woods' 142 consecutive cuts record is safe for now. And if Scheffler couldn't come close, if the most consistent player of his generation still fell 64 cuts short, then the record may never be broken. Scheffler's streak was the 5th longest in PGA Tour history. It included nearly 4 years of uninterrupted weekends, a run that seemed unfathomable when it started. And it still came up far short of Woods. The record is untouchable for a reason. Woods didn't just make cuts, he won almost half the tournaments he played during that stretch. He dominated the sport in a way that may never be replicated. Scottie Scheffler will be back. He'll win again. He'll start another streak. But the record that defines the most consistent golfer in history belongs to Tiger Woods. And after this week, it's clearer than ever that it will stay that way.